Hello, my loves. I am sorry I'm late. I had a couple of technical difficulties. The internet is quite slow today with all of this on here, playing, working, being. Today we're going to be doing a kind of an energy update. I think it's an energy update, and having some conscious conversation. Hi. Oh, yay. People are on. Say hello. Let me know you're here. Let me know how you've been doing. What's coming up for you? Okay. As I'm just getting a little sage going here. I have some fun things to talk about too. I've been having a lot of visions and a lot of interesting experiences. One I'm going to share with you that happened just a little while ago. So let me know how things are going. What's coming up for you? What do you need as a being of light? What are you craving and desiring at this time? Okay. So let me make sure that I can see comments. Hi, Erica. Yay. So excited. All right. Let me put some glasses on. All right. So we're going to start with the energy because obviously, everything is energy. It's always that way. But we have some really big conjunctions, have some really big things that are happening. I'm just pulling up some information for myself. And hopefully this broadcast stays. We are having a lot of, like I said, internet traffic is quite intense lately. Okay. So there's a couple of things that I'm being shown that's happening with the energy this month, in the month of April. I know I feel like we've already left March. I feel like that's gone. Like, I feel like the transition has already happened energetically. There was a big, intense shift last night. It happened overnight in the US. At least that's how I felt it. And I usually feel things about 2 days before I start noticing everybody else noticing it. So if it hasn't happened for you yet, it's coming. But I felt this intensity, this buildup yesterday as this Mars was moving into Aquarius, and remembering that there are two really big conjunctions this month. We have Pluto and Jupiter, which is huge. We have Mars and Saturn, again, huge. And these energies are going to have some interesting effects. And that's what I really want to talk about. It's not so much about what the planets are doing. I do talk a little bit about in my post on my Facebook page about what the planets represent energetically for us. And even today, I talked a little bit about the effects of physically of Mars. Mars has been a big player in March. And I know for me personally, I'm super affected by the outer planets. I'm ruled by Neptune, but my body is very much ruled by my fluid, my blood, and the waters that run. And this is for me personally, but I know there's more people out there that are like me, right? So for me, I've been feeling a lot of pressure and a lot of discomfort and a lot of heat in my root area. So my sciatica, my lower back, even going down the back of my thighs. I've had a little bit of kidney disruption, almost like a UTI would be, right? So I've had a lot of these things happening. And that is because there's so much pressure building in that area. Because think about it, before there is a breakthrough, there's usually a breakdown of some sort, right? And so for me personally, and they keep having me say that because I'm kind of giving you insight into a little bit about my personal journey and how I ascend and move through. So for me, I always have this climactic moment where it's like I feel the energy building, and then it breaks. And it usually breaks the moment we surrender, right? And so yesterday I was feeling that pressure building. It was my son's first day of homeschooling, and we're trying to get our balance, right? Like, a lot of people are right now. We were trying to get a good routine and flow while I'm still running my business and I'm still doing a lot of things energetically behind the scenes. And so my agenda crossed with the agenda of my son. And there was a lot of break moments. There was a lot of moments where we both had to stop and we had to come back to our breath, and we had to allow ourselves to speak our truth and say what's working for me, what's working for him. And to know that this is one day, one moment, and that we get to take it slow and we get to figure it out, right? And so it's a good reminder for you guys to not put so much pressure on yourself to immediately fall into a fluid routine when everything's changing constantly, right? So to give your guys some grace and a break. I'm going to take a couple of deep breaths. We have a ton of energy joining us today. I keep hearing the ancients are here. And that's another piece of what I want to talk about today. God, there is so much going on. Hi, Sylvia. Mama Bear. Yay. I'm going to take a moment. I literally just am feeling all this energy come in right now. We're going to let this sit here for a minute. I'm going to say hi to everybody. Erica says, can't sleep. Energy's been intense. A lot of visions at night. Yeah. That's the thing about you guys, about Mars and Saturn. Mars and Saturn. So Saturn's like the dad energy. Mars is the rebel. It's the one that wants to push the envelope. It's the one that wants to have power over you. It's the one that wants to strong arm you. And then we have this father energy of Saturn. And I don't feel that it's a bad thing. I feel like there's going to be a lot of father issues coming to the surface, a lot of masculine energy here, a lot of masculine wounding coming to the surface. And I really feel like this is why so many beings are with me right now. Because that energy in itself is, especially if somebody is not used to feeling so much overwhelm and anxiety, that's what you're going to be feeling. And it's not that you're anxious or that you're even overwhelmed in that moment. It's like you're high strung. It's like right now I can feel it, right? There's so much energy around me. And when I start calling in big energies, they're naming themselves off right now. I can get jittery. I can start talking really fast, and they have to intentionally slow me down and help me be present and not distracted by all the big energy. So again, these energy players are big right now, and just everyday life, everyday things, you are going to feel that anxiousness, that overwhelm, that surge of energy. Because on top of that, we are going through this collective shift, right? This is the first of 3 really big shifts over the next couple of years. And there's 3 shifts energetically, planetarily this year alone that are, it's so hard. It's like hard to break down sometimes for me. And I'm just going to be honest right now. It's sometimes I have a hard time translating quantum into linear. Okay. So if I ever don't make sense, I'm not meaning to confuse you. I'm not confused. It's just, I sometimes have a difficulty transitioning this big understanding into a simple terms. And that's because I haven't completely embodied a lot of what they tell me either. So, and the more you embody something, the simpler it becomes, right? So I'm going through this transition of living from my multidimensional being right now. And that is where I'm finding difficulty being human and having to remind myself that I'm human, right? So, hey, Lynette. So we all go through this, right? Will Mars and Aquarius affect, are you saying Aquarians differently? Okay, so Mars and Saturn, Jupiter and Pluto are all really affecting the collective. So this energy is going to be felt by everybody at some level or extent. With that, what they're saying is there are certain people that have specific transits in their charts where this year or next year or the year after, right, that certain transit is going to affect you more intently. So right now, what I feel like is everybody's going through another level of their awakening, right? So we have the Great Awakening, which is happening, which is kind of that liberation point. We are in the pressure cooker right now. So for those of you or the people then, and here's the thing, those of you that I'm talking to right now, you are those who are going to be helping other people. If I'm talking to you, if you find yourself on this video, You are going to be at some point in your journey helping other people go through the ascension process, guiding them, teaching them, whatever. And they're being very specific right now, which is usually these are pretty general, but they're being very specific. And this is why I'm speaking to you in the way that I am. You are going through your own next level of awakening, right? There's 4 stages of an awakening. We go through the mental body, which is really the solar plexus awakening, and your beliefs kind of starting to shatter and break. And then we have the sacral awakening, which is the emotional body. It's the detachment, right? And there's a lot of you right now that are going into that sacral. And that's the energy that's opening right now. This is a detachment process. But it's interesting because what they were sharing with me yesterday was that this Mars Saturn energy that is going to be coming, this pressure cooker, this buildup that we are about to be experiencing collectively, is that the pressure of pushing those that are still in a lower consciousness, 3D, 4D level, right? And remember, 3D, 4D is a level of consciousness. It's not a physicality. It's a density. It's how limited or open your perception is, your lens, right? So you can still have a belief, but not be limited by it. Okay. So you can still have Christian beliefs or religious beliefs or beliefs from your ancestors. You can still have that belief, but you no longer become limited by it. You see through it. You see around it. You know that that's a belief you are choosing. Do you see the difference? It's a huge difference. So that awakening will be expanding and detaching. But what they were showing me yesterday is this pressure cooker is creating this collective intensity that kind of pushes people to their break so that they can break through. So they'll break down, right? I'm a victim. I'm pissed. I can't do what I want. I can't have what I want. Everything's changing. It's uncertain. How will I make money? How will I pay my bills? Like, this is the shit that I feel when I start tuning into the collective. It's this anxiety. Will we have this? There's something big coming. And that's a vision that I had a couple of days ago that I was talking to Tanya. You guys know Tanya, my co-host at Breakdown, and my soul sister. I have been feeling for about a week now this sense of calm, this sense of the quiet before the storm, right? And Sunday, I was sitting and I received a vision, and I was in a field, and it's like that yellow grass, like I guess it looks like wheat. It was just a wide open field, and the grass wasn't tall. It was probably about that high. And I was standing there and I was all alone, and it was so quiet. And then all of a sudden, all of these black crows just went and just went up, like something had startled them, like something was creeping in closer, almost like a hunter when they wrestle the noise and all of a sudden they get the attention of the animals and the animals go away. That's what I saw. And so I reached out to her and I was telling her about my vision, and they won't tell me exactly what's coming. And the reason why is because that's the way I have it set up. If it's something coming that I cannot control, stop, prevent, and I'm not supposed to really prepare you for, they won't tell me. And you can design the way that you communicate with your team, right? You have choices. You don't only receive clairsentiently through your body. You don't only receive clairvoyantly. You don't only receive these visions that you can't do anything about. You get a choice, right? It's part of what I'm here for with teaching and guiding you, choice consciousness. So I have my connections in the way that I communicate set up a certain way. And so I was contemplating back and forth to her, like what this means. And she was telling me that she was hearing crows and what that meant to her. And so we were chatting back and forth. And there's a lot of unknown variables that could happen this month. And it's why they aren't going to give me something concrete to give to you as far as the unknown, because whatever comes is meant to take you by surprise. So it's not to scare you. It's not to invoke fear in you. what it's saying is that roll with it. Allow this, whatever's going to happen, because it isn't about you. And the moment that you take something personally or feel like you're a victim of the circumstances that have been created for you, then you are going to suffer. And you are going to feel that uncertainty at a very, very deep, painful level. And I know because I've been in that place. And there have been moments since this outbreak has kind of peaked a little bit that I have let my guard down. I've kind of laxed my boundaries as I'm, at home and with more time with my family. I've noticed that when I'm in my human element, I have to have really good physical and astral boundaries, because if the moment I let those down at all, the moment I kind of lax into that energy of, everything's good and I don't need to have good astral boundaries, right? And I forget to close my crown, or I forget to call my energy back, or however I decide to do it that day. I feel that, and I start going down that energy, and I get pulled back, and I get to reclaim my power once again. And so that's the theme for April, is to be present. What does it mean to be present? What does it mean to you? What does it mean to you to be present? Because when you're present, you're not in your mind. You're not thinking of a comeback. You're not thinking of a response. You're not in the future creating stories of what could be good or bad, right? You're just not in the future. You're not in the past. You're not doing that. You're in this moment. You're breathing. You're seeing what is, and you're moving through your day, always moving from one item to the next in the present moment, right? Because with Jupiter and Pluto, this could be amazing energy, you guys. We could see huge financial flips. People could all of a sudden come into windfalls of money. You could get raises. You could get inheritance. You can see the flip in the collective monetary system where, people that maybe were hoarding money or using it out of integrity, lose it, and it gets given to charities. Or did you see what I'm saying? Like, Jupiter brings expansion. It brings abundance and prosperity. But here's the thing. It's going to expand whatever state of being you are in, right? And when it comes to Pluto, Pluto is the temple of transformation. This is the big transformation energy. That's why there are 3 conjunctions with Pluto this year, 0-point conjunctions, which are huge. And I don't really know crap about astrology, you guys. I know a lot about human design. But I give you whatever I am given, and I am super connected to the outer planets. So I know them on an energetic level. I'm not trying to follow some astrological charting system, if that makes sense. So being present in the month of April, and I mean all month, you guys, being present, going slow, taking your time with everything you're doing, and being very conscious about the thoughts that are going through your mind and which ones you are attaching to emotionally, and what actions and words, what words you're speaking, what actions you are taking, how you are responding. Because the root energy that is programmed into your bones, into your joints, into your organs, right? That is your state of being, the majority of your state of being. And this is why so many people are like, I feel great, and I don't feel like I'm worrying, and I feel like I'm doing great, but I keep manifesting this bad luck. I keep manifesting people not wanting to buy from me, or extra bills coming in, or I keep manifesting the wrong woman or man, right? The same pattern keeps happening, and I can't get out of it, this loop. I can't get unstuck. And that's because you are not tapped into your unconscious. You're not tapped into your subconscious. You're not tapped into what's really lying beneath, because Saturn, right, it's the Lord of the karma. So there's a lot of collective karma that is being purged to the surface right now. And we have a lot of individual karma that we're carrying that is being purged from our blood, okay, purified and released back into source energy. This month, we are going to be purifying our blood. We are going to be transmuting and transforming the karma that we have held in our bones and in our blood, right? But this is going to happen on many, many levels, and everybody's going to experience this differently based upon your state of being. How you experience April is going to depend on how present and conscious you are. And I know that is like, oh, it's good. It's easy for you to say that. No, I am in the same boat. You know, I experience it at a different level, but I still am there. I still have those moments, and I have to live from the present, and I have to drop into my heart and live from that space. There are still moments where I fall asleep, and I am very confident in saying that I live in a 5D reality. I no longer live in a 4 or 3D reality. In fact, it's been quite disturbing for me to see all the conspiracy or underground musings that have been happening behind the scenes that I never really knew about, that my team is now showing me because it's so prominent in the collective. So it's like they have to catch me up and bring me up to speed. And I've been a little taken back by the things that I've been shown and how long this has been happening, right? And so I'm not going into that today. There's enough of those people out there. But that's kind of a 4D consciousness. That's really when we're seeing, when you're seeing things manifest, that energy changing form and actions being taken from that level, right? So this goes way beyond any of that. So another interesting thing, we're kind of going to go all over the place. So just follow me. I noticed, and again, the ancients are here. I just keep hearing them talk to me. So funny story. Today, I was recording a transmission that I'm about to release. And it's a transmission, an experience that my team took me through, where they pulled all my fear, all my worry, all my stress, all my uncertainty, whatever was in my energy field, whatever I would, they pulled it, you guys, from the darkest, deepest crevices where I've hidden the shit from myself, where I have denied it or ignored it, or I didn't want to feel it. They pulled this shit out of my cells. And it was all in my root, right? It was like a magnet. They were drawing it into my root intentionally. And then they pulled it up through my column of light into my heart like molten lava. And as it passed through, it collected anything else that it needed to through the chakras, through the column of light, pulling it from every cell. Think about when you go into a steamer, or they're showing me a sweat lodge, right? Where you're just like purging, and it's just deep cellular clearing. Like all of that was happening, but like in a reverse osmosis type energy. Is that even right? It's some type of reverse technology that's been coming in. And it was like, instead of like you would see it pulling out, it was like pulling from deep in and pulling it into my root, into turning it into this like lava. Anyway, it pulled it up my column of light into my diamond heart center, where it made my diamond bigger, and it started emanating this rainbow prism energy. You guys, this experience was insane. So after I went through it a couple of days later, they had me auto write the transmission. I thought, okay, I'm going to record this. And so today I was like, I'm going to record it. It feels aligned. I'm going to record it. I sit down, I'm going through all my stuff, and I'm got my mic on. I have an etheric weaver that really helps sew up or close up people's auric fields where there's energy tears and leaks, helps expand the energy even bigger. It helps with spontaneous healing. And then I had a bunch of other crystals. I just shoved them down there by my mic. So I'm ready. Lights are dim. I'm getting into the flow. The beings start coming in. I'm like, oh my God, there's so many here. The ancients were here. The Arcturians came in, ninth dimensional Arcturians, the ninth and seventh dimensional Pleiadians. We have the praying mantises from the Inner Earth Collective were here, they are super healers. They're like the highest level of healing from a being. we had all this, and we had the Galactic Federation of Light, who are standing actually behind me. There's a portion of them. That collective is ridiculously gigantic. And the ancients are over here. At least that's how I feel them. So all of that energy was coming into my space. And I was like, oh my God, all this for my transmission? Like, this is going to be ridiculously potent. And I start speaking. And like 5 minutes into it, these words are coming out of my mouth. I'm like, that's not it. That's not the right transmission. What's happening here? So I hit end and I start recording again. About 5 minutes in, the same crap comes out of my mouth. I'm like, what's happening? This is not what we're doing here, folks. Okay. After the third time, I surrendered and I said, obviously, like, this is meant to come through. So the transmission is to alchemize the fear, stress, worry, and uncertainty in your body the way that they had me to. But it's also a 5D diamond template installation, which I have never done, by the way. I have never done. And so I'm like, I don't understand what's happening. And now I understand why so much energy came in. So anyway, I did a alchemizing your fear today and a 5D diamond template installation. Which is funny because last night in my astral space, Samantha Bearden and I, who is the DNA Resturtorer method creatrix, the one that I learned from to transform DNA and activate it, she was with me and we were doing these diamond template activations last night in quantum space. It was really fun. So anyway, this is my life. You guys are getting behind the scenes. This is what I do. But this energy is going to be so crazy. Right now, to me, it feels amazingly blissful. That doesn't mean it's going to be that way all month, right? So take those moments, the moments where you feel the bliss, the moments where you feel amazing, and take that day and get as much things done as you can. And the days that you feel drained, that you feel defeated, that you feel the energy, don't fight against it. Don't resist. Don't try to figure out what's happening because there are way too many variables right now. It isn't just what's happening in our physical reality. It's also these planetary alignments. It's also the massive amount of light codes and ascension codes that are coming through to help move this process along. On top of that, the millions of light workers who are meditating and praying and bringing through light and anchoring it, not to Earth because she's done, right? She's ascended. She's in 5D already. This virus, the energetic virus, it's gone, right? The energy of the virus has been transformed. It's everything now just has to finish playing out. So let it play out. Detach. Remind yourself, say to yourself, this isn't about me. This is a collective upgrading. This is the Great Awakening. And that means I'm going to come out of this with a deeper sense of self and a wider perception. I'm going to come out of this with more clarity about what we're doing here, right? Because this isn't about anything else. About everything we are here for is our personal journey. Ascension, expansion, remembrance, right? It's huge. And we have to remember that before we're here to help anyone else, including the collective, we first have to help ourselves, right? So using this time to allow you to go through the upgrades. If you can be present and you can work with yourself however you choose. So if you're reading a book that's supposed to help you, if you're taking a course right now, I'll tell you, the people that enrolled in Unity right when it opened, holy crap. Some of them are on the sacral part of this journey. Like it was, one of them popped into the group today and was talking about what was happening. And I was like, this is perfect timing. Like, who knew? Like doing that course right now is like those people, their lives are going to be changed forever. Like it's going to transform them. It's a perfect alignment, right? So whatever you're doing this month, a healing course, transmissions, affirmations, whatever you're doing, dedicate yourself to it. Show up for yourself every day. This isn't about the world, right? When you feel called to show up for your community or for everybody else, great. But when you're not, you need to show up for yourself. And you need to be working on yourself, because if you can do that this month, if you can stay present, you cannot get sucked in to the collective fear and anxiety, stress, uncertainty, and worry and all that energy. If you can really allow yourself to detach from this experience as something that's happening to you, and you can be present and in your body, you can have life-altering transformation this month. Like, not even joking. So here I was creating this transmission thinking, oh, this could help anybody. People who aren't even awake, who are just new to meditation. They're like, no, this is for those who are here to help others, but they first have to finish helping themselves. This is going to be a transmission that's going to help people install that diamond template, help them shift from 4 to 5D. And so those who feel called to it, you're gonna listen to it, and you're gonna have an amazing experience. And you're gonna do this transmission a few times, because our logical mind is tricky like that. And it thinks that we have to do things multiple times. But what that's doing, that repetitiveness of you listening to the transmission, is just further helping you anchor and accelerating the anchoring and of that template energy. Does that make sense, you guys? Okay, Holly. Hi, Holly. I'm so excited you're on here. Okay, I'm gonna take a pause and I'm gonna read some comments before we keep going. We have a lot of lovelies on. And if you guys, Norway, hi Rita, thank you, welcome. I'm so excited that you're here. Shannon Marie, hi honey. Oh my God, so many people. And if you guys, if this is interesting and you think other people would enjoy it or learn something from it, please share. I would really appreciate spreading of that love. Let's see. Lynette, makes sense. I'm feeling very detached from just about everything these days. Sister, I feel ya. I feel ya. Misty says, thanks for the clarification. I think a lot of us get caught up on the beliefs of how to navigate that. Yeah, I mean, Misty had a great post yesterday, and I'm just going to shout out to her for a second. She was talking about people sharing and teaching what they have learned, right? And how we have come from a society where we have to copyright and trademark everything. And God forbid you teach something that I teach, you stole it from me, right? But here's the thing. We are all channeling the same one source of energy, whether you want to call that God, source, Buddha, Allah, Krishna, whatever. We are all channeling from the same source, creator consciousness, the one. And it's like water falling from the sky, and it's got to filter through the rock and the sediment and the dirt and whatever else is there before it reaches its final stage. And that water is going to be whatever, right? So it's kind of a weird analogy, but that's how they show it to me. It's like when you have all the different waters, like we have the water from Fiji, you have crystal water, you have mineral water, whatever. It went through its own filtration system that gives it its own unique blueprint. That's how all of you receive. So I receive the same thing you receive, but you're going to receive it differently, even if you're receiving it from me, right? So if I'm teaching a course, you're going to receive that through your filter, your perception, and it's going to embody and anchor into your cells, and it's going to be regurgitated through your lens, through your beliefs, through your wounds, through your knowing and wisdom, through your unified connection. It can never be duplicated. And when it is, it doesn't work, right? So that's a part of it. We each embody this energy and use it differently. And that means that you may resonate with some of the things I say. You may resonate with nothing I say. That's okay. I ain't mad at you. But we are all going to handle things a little bit differently. There's not going to be one person that's going to be like, she knows it. That's everything. Like, that's how you do it. No, that's how I do it. And if that works for you, fabulous. If it doesn't, that's okay too, right? And that's what they said. This is a perfect segue before I finish reading the comments. I want to give you guys a few tips on how to process this intense energy, because what they're saying is they're showing me right now this excess energy almost outside your body line, like right outside your atmosphere, or right like within your atmosphere, but then also outside of it. And your atmosphere is your aura. I just call it we call it an atmosphere, a personal atmosphere. And it's almost like this intense vibration that's vibrating really hard outside of your atmosphere. And that is the collective energy, that shift that's happening. And you're feeling that. And Mars and Saturn are influencing it. Jupiter's about to blow that shit wide open. So that's what you're feeling. So what we want to do is give you tips on how to process that so you can move that energy out of your body. Okay. So before we go into anything else, we're going to stop and do that. So number 1, work out. Okay. Work out. I'm talking walking, jogging, running in place, cardio, Kundalini yoga. This is about moving the energy from your root, moving it through your body, allowing for your energy to flow. Okay. Saturn and Mars can bring a lot of anger and old resentment to the surface. So if you find yourself feeling bitchy, triggered easily, agitated, move your body. Move your body. Number 2, orgasms. Yeah. A good 20, 30-second orgasm is going to purify your blood very, very quickly. Okay. This is about connecting with you and the energy of pleasure and understanding that an orgasm, right, is basically that Kundalini energy firing up and purifying your column of light and exploding out, clearing your aura and really transforming anything, because joy is the frequency that purifies on instant. It's like an instant purifier. So a little stressed out, a little high strung, call up an orgasm. Doctor's orders. Okay. The third one, when you're working out, right? Listen to an affirmation track. So that's what I actually did. I took a whole month off earlier this year, and I just focused on me as I was preparing for this big shift that we're in right now. And when I worked out, when I was doing, when I was on the treadmill, when I was doing cardio, when I was doing weights, I was listening to an affirmation track. Now, it was when I recorded, it was my voice, and you can do that. There are plenty of ways to do that. Excuse me. But you can also listen to another affirmation track that you like. Now, when you are working out, you're very present and your energy is very open and it's moving. And that is a perfect time to listen to affirmations, right? So be sure the affirmations align with what you want, but you can listen to those. Number 4, playing mantra or meditative music. If you are at home, have it running in the background. Okay. I have posted a few times on different spots some of my favorites. I'll probably create a playlist or a list of all the where you can find them on YouTube. You can also find them on iTunes, all those places. Have them playing on repeat in the background, whether it's mantra music or meditation music, the God frequency. I uploaded an 8-hour track on my YouTube. Play it on repeat. That frequency helps you to maintain a sense of peace. Now, another tip that I'm going to give you is if you have to go out, if you have to go to a doctor, if you have to go to a hardware store or a grocery store, I know a lot of you guys don't want to wear wireless headphones, but what I'm going to tell you right now, we're going to talk about this too, but Wi-Fi is a necessary evil, and they are very clear with me about that. Okay. So I don't listen to wireless headphones all the time. I play the music on a speaker in my house. And when I sleep at night, I run an 8-hour track as well. But what I can tell you is when I go out, I have headphones, at least in one ear, because what it does is it helps me stay present and tuned into me and not what everybody else is doing and not how people are acting and what they're not doing or what they should be doing. It helps me focus and stay in a state of peace within me. Okay. So that's really important. The last one we're going to give you before we move on is the shower meditation. So whether you shower in the morning or at night, if you can even take a shower for 5 minutes in the night just to kind of refresh you, right? It's just imagine that the water is light. Oh, they're saying there's going to be one more. Okay. The shower is light and it's just washing away your day down the drain. Remember, you guys, imagination. Imagination. If you can imagine it, it is real. That is the quantum field. The third eye is a portal, you guys. This is why when we're children, we have the most amazing imagination and we just come up with these crazy scenarios. And you're like, I don't believe that's possible. We live in an infinite consciousness. Anything is possible. If you can envision it, if you can dream it, it's real and it's available to you, right? So get into your imagination, connect with that inner child and play with this energy. You guys, you can imagine anything you want, but getting into the shower, using the energy of water and just allowing that to act like it's rinsing you clean, right? Really resetting your energy. And then we have the Galactic Federation of Light, who wants to bring forth this one. And so this one's probably a little bit more advanced. And so what you'll do is you will lay down on the floor in a space where you can give yourself about 20 minutes, right? You could probably even do it less than that. Shut the lights off. You can light candles if you want. You can bring in crystals if you want. But the important thing is to be really anchored into the belief system that what you believe you can see. And laying down on the floor, calling in your family of light, and you can say it just like that. I call in my family of light to surround me at this time, right? And to shower me with cosmic light, right? With pure consciousness. And so as you lay there, you're going to invoke or imagine your crown opening, almost like a drawbridge, right? Just see your crown opening, see your feet opening, your root chakra opening, right? And just see this beautiful flow and call in your family of light and imagine all these light beings surrounding you as you lay on the floor. And then command them to flood and reset your atmosphere and your column of light. And just lay there. And just lay there. You can play meditation music in the background if you want. But just having that light bath by your light beings is super energizing. Do not be surprised if you get up from that and you're like, I'm ready to go. Let's do this. So those are some really good ways for you guys to clear your energy and to feel amazing, because it's okay to experience joy right now. It's okay to thrive right now. It's okay to be happy right now. Okay. It's okay to do that. Yes, people are dying. People are struggling. People are suffering. This is true. But remember, suffering is a choice. I know plenty of homeless people, and I've met plenty of homeless people that are happy as can be, not having a home, not having bills, and being nomads. But we look at them and we're like, oh my God, you poor thing. How do you know they're not happy? How do you know that's not what they like? We as humans are very judgy, right? And that's okay. It's where you are if that's happening. It's not like I still don't have moments where I have very strong opinions, right? I just live in another space where I don't take them personal. I don't take my opinions. They're no longer judgments. I don't take my opinions to mean something about that person. It's just me voicing an opinion, right? It's a very detached feeling, I guess. Because when you judge somebody, you're saying that means something about them. It defines them. It's very interesting, right? So let's come back to the comments, and we'll see where they want to take us. We may do a separate channeling of the ancients. They're really strong right now, and they have a lot of information they want to share. Let's see. Something feels big on the horizon, many unknowns, and learning to be okay with uncertainty. Yes. Uncertainty is magic, y'all. It just is. Think about it. I always come back to this. This is a great example of why uncertainty, that energy, is actually something to be treasured and to be, to enjoy. Okay. It's not something to fear. And here's why. So as a psychic medium, right? I don't really do psychic readings anymore. I will help people see things in the future when we have teaching sessions. But how I see the future is in possibilities. It's in timelines. I see in front of me, at least right now, there are probably 6 different timelines. They will all get me to the same space, but there's 6 different ways I can do this. And it's my choice. I get to choose how I want to proceed. And this is why sometimes when people kind of deviate so far, they have that divine intervention where, like, they should have died in that car accident, right? Or they should have been on that plane, kind of thing, where there's some type of divine intervention that kind of pulls you back to your path and says, no, 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 you come back to your choices now, right? Because we have free will, but how much free will do we actually have, right? We're given these choices. So that's why it's considered free will, because we're given an opportunity to choose for ourselves. So with that in mind, right? If you go to a psychic, and this is actually something that's happened to me, and they tell you your future, what they are doing is they are pulling in the most probable timeline. And if you become attached to that knowing that that's available to you, and you start doing things that you wouldn't normally do to obtain that, you are getting in your own way. And all you're doing is creating resistance to receiving what is and what was highest and best for you. Because now you know what's available, and now you're fighting tooth and nail to get to it as quick as possible. And what they're saying is no, no, no. It's not time yet, right? While time doesn't really exist, there is a process that we go through to get to where we need to be. It's a delayering and an evolution that is happening within your soul that helps you expand and then call in that timeline. But when you know it's coming, you're either bracing for impact or you're fighting tooth and nail to make it happen faster and easier, right? And to call in, oh, let me hurry up and get there. Let me hurry up and get there. But you're really just going to be hurrying up to wait because it ain't your time yet. Everything else in the universe hasn't aligned to meet you at that point yet. So not knowing what's coming and what's going to play out and how it's going to play out is magic, because then you just get to allow it to happen. Then it's, oh my God, what an amazing opportunity that showed up in front of me. Because I was ready, because I did the work, not because somebody told me it was coming. So when we have the energy of uncertainty, that means there is nothing concrete. It could literally be anything. You guys, that's the quantum field. That's the dark space that everybody's afraid of or they think is evil. All it is uncertain energy that you get to define, energy that you get to say, I'm going to create this way. I'm going to take all this unknown energy and I'm going to bring my light into it, and I'm going to create what I actually desire, what I actually want to happen, what I actually want to feel. And so they say uncertainty is the quantum field. It is the magic. And collectively, we have a ridiculous amount of timelines and options. And the more the collective shifts to one way or another, the more probable that timeline is. Okay. And that's why I told you guys in my written energy update, it wouldn't be a bad idea to have a couple $100s on cash on hand. Because in the event that there is the media, right? Or not the media, the internet goes down, or the phone lines go down, or the power goes out, whatever. It's 3:33 right now. If that, the internet is slow as hell right now because everybody's on it. They're not away from it at a business, doing their work, not all of them, right? And so it's already slow. So anyway, in the event that these big things happen, and they could, right? It could have an overload. It could crash. It could go down. If that were to happen, you have cash on hand, right? So don't go pull all your money out of the bank. Don't be that person. But prepare, plan, and then go play. use this time wisely, you guys. Don't waste it worrying. It's just not going to be a good thing. Erica says, I just keep hearing to be prepared for something big, but no details. See, exactly. Yes. Thank you. There is something big coming. And I really felt like it was this week, but I almost feel like it's going to be towards, I don't know. It keeps going back and forth. I felt like whatever it was going to happen Wednesday, which is tomorrow. And now and then sometimes I feel like it's Friday. And that's just it, you guys. It's constantly changing. Energy is not stagnant. It's constantly moving, right? Time is fluid. And so we have to quit waiting for something and just be in the now moment. And whatever happens is going to happen. And we just have to keep reminding ourselves it's happening for us. Okay? Because we're all together. We're all together in this. This is happening for all of us, the whole planet. There's nobody that is excluded from this. My animals aren't even eating well right now because that is further confirmation that something's coming. When animals can feel earthquakes or big changes about to happen, you'll notice their behavior changes, right? So my dogs, even though they've had a weird eating schedule lately anyway, they're acting a little off. They're acting like they're knowing that something's coming, right? They're sensing that. So don't allow that overwhelming feeling like something's about to happen take you over. Just tune into it when it's there and say, I see you. I know something's coming. I'm good. I'm ready. I'm prepared. I've done all I can do. And now I just have to surrender. You meet halfway. Do all that you can do with whatever you are doing. And once you reach that point where you're like, I've done everything I can, now all I can do is hand it over. I just surrender and say, I trust that I have done my best and I will be met halfway. Okay, so that's what we have to do here, guys. A month of observation and journaling for me, says Corey. Beautiful. Going back to exercise and writing down what thoughts are coming up and actively working the shifts. Excellent. Holly, what's scary for you? Tell me about that. I don't know where I was talking when you said that. If you're still on, tell me what you're talking about. I feel a huge physical decluttering and purge is necessary right now too. Oh, yes. Thank you for that, Misty. Perfect time to detox, guys, this week. Perfect time to break a habit. So if you are trying to break a food addiction, alcohol, cigarettes, drugs, no judgment, whatever, bad habits, correcting people, interrupting people, whatever your habit is, your excuse is, your clutch is, this week is a perfect week to break a pattern, break a habit. Okay. Because the will is strong. Now I have for those of you that understand human design, I have a defined will. So I have a lot of willpower natural to me. Most people do not. And that's okay. You will feel it this week though. It's like you will have that will injection. So you will be able to detox. This is a great week to detox. Even going into this week and next week are great weeks to detox your physical body. So like this is a heavy metal detox smoothie. Tanya's doing cabbage soup. It doesn't matter. Pick something, right? Whatever you feel called to do to detox your body, detox your life. Later today, I will have my quantum entanglement workshop finally live for purchase. It's over 2-hour workshop that's up there that will help you untangle yourself from attachments. You can be attached to money. You can be attached to clients. You can be attached to people who are no longer with us. You can be attached to your parents, significant others, and it creates a heavy weight. You know, people are always wanting to do cord cutting, things like that. This is the quantum version of that, quantum entanglement. We're going to be talking about it, learning how to detach from it. Fear personalities, boundaries, all those things are in that. So you guys can go to my website later and that will be available. Also good to do this week. What else? Just making space. Remember, you're not waiting. You're being patient and you're using that time to do things that need to be done because this is an energy of completion. So what are tasks that you haven't completed? Is it something that you want to complete, or is it something you want to toss out, right? What projects at home, business, personal, what things have you started that need to be complete? All great things to do this week too. Let's see. Okay, Shannon says, we had a crazy moment last night. Speaking of energy, I have obviously been through way too much and have had too much built up. Many people pulling me in 50 directions at one time, and I yelled out, I'm done, and half the power went out. Okay, so you, okay, no, they're telling me not to tell you that. All right. There's something about your energy that is very powerful. So when you do an outward expression like that, it's going to disrupt power, lights. It could probably shatter things. Okay. So this is really a good time for you to learn how to use your energy. And we call that sitting. So you'll be sitting in your power. It's different kind of meditation. Hi, Karen. Yeah, Shannon says, yes, I agree. We need to teach and use our skills for good and work together instead of against each other. Exactly. This isn't about competing and comparing anymore. When you come into 5D, it's about, let me give you and share with you all that I know if you're ready and willing. And so that you can take that information and you can embody it and you can go out and share it with everybody else that needs it, who is showing up for you. Because with 8 billion, right, people in the world, there's going to be people who are showing up to learn from me because they're going to resonate from me. But if you learn that from me, you're going to receive people that are showing up because they resonate with you and your energy signature. So it needs to come through you. So learn what you're meant to learn, whether it's from your higher level of consciousness or it's from a mentor or somebody else, a book even. But then embody that practice and allow it to come out of you naturally through your own working, right? So whatever you guys learn, however which way you learn it, it's about embodying it, practicing it, and becoming one with it so that you teach it from a very natural place. And you can take people through your stories, right? Of how you took that information and navigated it, because people resonate with stories, right? They don't want somebody to verbatimly teach out of a book or what they learned from somebody else. They want to hear about how it worked for you, how it impacted you. And this is why embodiment is so important. So important. Okay. Good job. I'm just going to browse through these real quick before we wrap this up. Yes, Misty, you can use a wired one. You can use a wired headphone. You don't have to use oh, okay. We're back to 5G. You don't have to use a wireless headset. Now, I have not been someone who's been actively preaching about 5G. Okay. I do use tools in my home to neutralize a lot of that technology from internet and Wi-Fi, and there's nothing wrong with that. But as I have opened up my consciousness and really been working with my team, I've had an interesting thing come through. And I don't know how I quite feel about it yet, but you guys are really seeing the raw process here. Because just because I'm told something by my team of light does not mean that I immediately align with that and say that's just has to be what it is. It's not how I work, right? I have to sit with it. I have to integrate it. I have to feel into it. And they give me that time and space because we have choices. We're allowed. And so some new information that I have allowed to come through is I want you to think about something here. And this is how they said 5G, 5D, we have to upgrade our technology. And I know, please do not bombard me with what you think is right or wrong, because there is no right or wrong. It will not bother me. You can light me up with the worst comments ever and it won't affect anything, because there is no right or wrong here. So this is a possibility that they have introduced to me that I am now going to introduce to you. 5G is only going to affect you and your physical body if you believe it will. And I'm going to say that again. 5G is only going to harm you, create disturbances in you, and affect you if you believe it will. It is a frequency. And when you reach this type of consciousness, right, and not everybody's going to be there. And so if you're not there, please, by all means, do what you feel guided intuitively to neutralize that energy, right? I still believe we should shut the Wi-Fi off at night. I still believe that you should have crystals in your home to neutralize that energy of anything, right? Because we're constantly receiving from so many sources. Do I believe that we need to have 5G on our children's playgrounds? Of course not. But you know what? There's not a whole lot I can do about that. I have to work in my field of what I am here for and know that what they are telling me, because this is becoming a very big thing out there on the internet and just in the collective, is that your body becomes the alchemist. When you become fully here, meaning you've called back all parts and pieces of yourself and you're working from a 5D level of consciousness. You guys think 5D is what you want to obtain. 5D is the beginning, right? You begin to move into 6th and 7th and 8th dimensional consciousness and beyond. And it's a whole nother world, and it's here. It's just you seeing reality through a different lens. It's like you're putting on special 3D glasses or 5D glasses, and all of a sudden you're like, whoa, everything looks a little bit different here. And you just have to get used to it, right? So when you come into a 5D level of consciousness, your body becomes the alchemist. And this is when you can bring back in things that maybe you took away because you had an allergy. Because an allergy needs an emotional and a chemical and a physical thing to happen to create the allergy to begin with, or the disturbance in your energetic field. So the more you believe something is going to be a disservice to you, the more you believe that something is going to be harmful to you, the more it will be. Because, right, you believe, you see what you believe. You see what you believe. Believing is seeing. If I believe this transit is going to be terrible for me and I'm going to go through it, April's going to be horrendous and this virus is going to take over and I'm not going to have any clients and I'm going to lose all my money, that's what I'm going to see. But if I'm like, you know what, this really isn't about me. There's some shit happening. I'm going to use this time wisely. I'm going to work on myself. When we detach and we see that something's there and it has the potential to cause harm, but we no longer believe it's going to harm us, we pass that belief down through our DNA to our children, because our children, those waters, right, they're in. That's how that lineage can go 7 years, 7 lineages back, is because our water contains memory, our DNA contains programming, and we pass that along to our children. So by us doing our healing work, even though our children are outside of us now, that change happens within them as well, without us doing anything, because we are the example, right? So I know a lot of you are going to be struggling with this, and that's okay. I'm not here to prove one way or another. I'm here to say it's a possibility, and they're bringing it in very strongly. And they're saying 5G is not about what everybody thinks it's about. It's an upgrade of technology. Yes, it's powerful. But this is why the planet needs to ascend collectively, because we are moving. And those who don't come, that resist this great awakening, that resist this change, they are going to be there still, but they're going to be suffering. They're going to be feeling that energy of this looping. And it sounds so negative, and I hate talking about it like this because I don't like doing that. But they're saying it's not negative. It's a choice they're making, right? Every time you make a choice, you chose that. When you chose to be a victim, when you chose to interfere in someone else's timeline, when you chose to try to save somebody and interject what you believe, when you chose to get defensive and fight to the death that you're right and let me hear my perspective, right? Do you see how heavy and intense that energy is? So just know that there are always infinite possibilities and opportunities available. Nothing is concrete until you say so. Until that is your belief, that you have anchored into your cells. And then your children will grow up with that belief system, right? So there's no right or wrong here, but we have to check in with where we are in our consciousness. And if we're ready to let that go and to evolve into the next level. And if you are, all you have to say is, I am willing. I am willing to evolve my consciousness. I'm willing to allow a bigger perspective, a wider perception to be shown to me. I'm willing to believe, just like I'm willing to forgive, right? I'm willing to set this down. It's opening the door. It's saying, okay, I'm going to open this a little bit and I'm just going to take a breath and I'm just going to relax. Okay. Tara. Oh, hi, Tara. She says she uses the shower cleanse one. Good. Yay. Lynette uses the shower meditation. I'm a bath person. Shannon uses the shower one. Yes, you guys. Love it. Very interested in the ancient beings transmission. Yes. Okay. So thank you for that. Here's the thing. I'm being asked to give it 2 ways. So later tonight, depending on how fast my computer decides to run and internet speeds, I'm going to be uploading it to YouTube. But I'm also going to be trying to put it on a page or somewhere where you guys can download it to have it offline. Okay. So that's something that they're actually wanting me to do. They're wanting me to make this available offline. It's free, you guys. This is a free thing. This is for everybody. This isn't a charge. If you want the workshop, obviously it's $49, the quantum entanglement workshop, but you can find that on my website later. But that I'm going to be putting that transmission up later. So stay tuned to YouTube. If you're not on YouTube, subscribe. And if you know for sure that you want the file offline, just drop me a comment and say, I would love it offline, and I'll either message you or tell you to email me or something until I have to figure out a way to do it. But I will get there. Maybe I can just post a Dropbox link or something. Tara keeps getting the date April 28th. Okay, awesome. Again, it could be. Who knows? There's so many variables here. Dogs acting sick. Yep. Awesome, you guys. Yay. Do you guys know that I am just, sorry, I was listening. I am just so blessed to have you guys. And I just want you to know that I love you guys so very much. And I'm so happy that so many of you have tuned in today. And I want you to know that you don't have to have a bad experience with this. I know it's not the most optimal, but we get to choose how we thrive in any situation, how we flow in any scenario, right? We get the choice. And some days I have bad days and things aren't flowing and things are disruptive and I have to surrender and say I'm not doing anything else the rest of the day. And then there are days where I'm on fire, right? So no single person is ever going to come into an ascended version of their consciousness and never experience a struggle or an obstacle. They become more of game challenges, right? Like game on, challenge accepted, because now I know I get to grow some more, right? So the energy of a trigger or a trauma or something coming up collectively is more like a game up level when you start doing this more and more, right? It's no longer like, oh, I'm so triggered, or oh my God, another trauma I have to heal, right? It's like, yes, okay, a new challenge, game on, let's do this. It's different. And in the moment, right, you can still feel like this sucks, but you're excited kind of at the same time because you're about to grow and expand. So, hey, take it for what you will, but never forget you are not alone. You're not alone. You're surrounded by your guides, your angels, your loved ones. There are millions of people, billions of people in the same boat. There are going to be big changes over the next few years collectively. Big, big changes. And we just got to roll with it. We have to let go of all we used to know so that we can allow for the new, exciting, free, upgraded lifestyle that we've all been calling, right? This is it, babes. Let's do this, and let's do it together. Let's do it. Redbirds. Oh my God, I love Misty that you call them redbirds. My husband gets so mad. He's like, they're cardinals. I'm like, who named them cardinals? Yes, I've had a lot of cardinals too. A lot of redbirds. All right, you guys, I love you so much. Thanks for showing up. If you're interested in the workshops or anything I'm doing, you can head over to johannaburkhardt.com. I have all kinds of goodies over there. If you want the transmission, stay tuned on YouTube, subscribe, click get notified. I got tons of good stuff, tons of content on YouTube. And if you want me to give you that offline version, let me know in the comments. And I might just post it out there. I have to figure out how I want to do that. And do stay tuned, because I'm interested to see what else I pull in from the ancients. Today was the first time I've ever worked with them, and they're super strong right now. And I have shamanism in my deep lineage, and that's why I have been. I didn't take formal shaman training. I have done all my shaman training astrally with my team of light. It's very interesting doing it that way. But the ancients, that's a lot of the energy that's coming forward now. They're shamans, they're alchemists, they're medicine men and women. There's a lot of that ancestral stuff that's rising up. There's a lot that was there. I'm already pulling a little bit in here, but there was a lot that was already freed in Australia with the fires. A lot of people didn't understand what those fires were for, but those fires were transmuting, releasing the trapped ancient energy that was in the lands in Australia. And Australia is, I believe, the solar plexus of Gaia. And so you guys, we're still in that solar plexus purging. It's still happening. Okay. But I feel like they've been freed. It's like, I feel like they've been freed, they're saying, and they can now inject this wisdom. And they're telling me that we actually do that. There is a wisdom injection from them in the transmission. I don't remember most of the transmission. So I'm so excited for you guys to get this and just see what happens. All right. I got to go. So I love you guys so, so, so much. And I'll talk to you soon.